everybody, we are back again on Thursday the 4th of May. We have Daniel with us from Chile. We have Judith.
Hi.
This is quite a wide one. We've got Judith from Israel. And then Demi and Patricia in the UK. And we've got Ceres in Holland. But that's quite a good range, isn't it? From Chile to Israel today.
It is.
Just asking, did everybody see the video about the red, what's it called? I'll have to look it up, hang on. It's called The Red Planet or whatever it was, and someone's filmed it, but it doesn't look real. What's the red planet? It's Mars, isn't it?
No, I didn't.
Me neither.
1 second. I'll
Goed,
just...
net ben je in een hangout.
Right, so go to worldwide thing. It's on Truth and Seekers. Does anybody know what that site is?
No.
Who's playing an instrument there? There. So it starts off. If I turn the, hang on, I'm going to turn the. Go back here. Turn the colours down. Brightness, isn't it? You'll be able to see it. Hang on a sec. General brightness. Turn it down.
Somebody is calling somebody.
That's you, Ceres, isn't it?
Oh, Frankie.
Frankie's calling. Is she coming in?
Frankie. Oh, connecting. Oh.
Yeah, look.
Hello. Middle in the hangout. The hangout just started.
Hang on, okay. I'll talk to you another time.
No, Frankie.
Otherwise, join the
Frankie, join the other hangout.
hangout.
Do you see? It's supposed to be the red planet. It's on Truth and Seekers. Someone's seen it in the sky and supposed to have taken this video, but it just looks fake to me. Anyway, enough of that. I'll just quickly give Frankie a call. We're a bit disorganised today. Let me get to Frankie so she can come on to join the other hangout. Right. Where is she? Frankie. So, how are you, Daniel?
I'm great. Having a good time here and starting autumn, winter over here.
We're just getting into, we're just well into spring here. Autumn, no. Hello, my darling. We're on this hangout, but you can join it.
I'm upside down, remember?
All right, then. I'll just send it to you on here. See you in a moment. Bye. Bye. Frankie's in Greece.
Down to me.
God, what's autumn to you, Daniel? Is that really cold? Is it like England or?
Pardon me?
Is your when you say winter, autumn, is that cold or is that still hot?
No, it's colder. The nights are getting colder and the rain season starts arriving. And it's colder. I live very in the south, so we're used to this kind of climate. But since I've been here 3 years already, and every year has been so different from the other one. So different. Different in temperature, different in rain, different everything. So that's my.
So how cold is it going to get for you then? How cold is winter? Snow, minus?
No, it's not. It doesn't get to snow at land level, at sea level, but 2 degrees, 3 degrees.
It's not
like
that warm, but it's not
normal cold.
It's not as cold as here.
It rains.
Hmm.
Yeah, but I see snow because I have a volcano here. I'm just over the bottom part of a volcano and a lake. So yeah, I see the snow almost all the year. The volcano still with snow. Yeah.
Hmm.
I have received a lot of people saying volcanoes are fake, lately.
Yeah.
And yeah, we probably don't. Yeah, we probably don't know the exact working of it, but I can assure you it's not fake. I've been there many times and I've seen it erupting. So I've seen lava in the night, and it was
Really?
recent. It was
Are you
just
not?
the day I arrived.
Are you not worried that it's going to come down on you?
No, because the kind of volcano, it just explodes upwards. It doesn't. It isn't the type of volcano that overflows, and that's a major case. In that case, I will be done. I have no chance of escaping if that happens. But what? Part of the game.
Yeah, so what, on Flat Earth series, what are volcanoes then? Are they volcanoes or are they something else? Oh, Frankie! She's there!
Yeah.
Hello, Frankie! Frankie, tonight we have D series, we have Daniel, Judith, we have Patricia and me. I don't know if you've met Patricia, Judith or Daniel.
Yeah.
Frankie's on holiday in Crete. So she's from the UK, but she's on holiday in Crete.
She's in Greece, she's talking quiet. We're in Sisi.
That's better, probably. They'll probably hear her now.
Can you hear us?
Yeah.
Mum's talking quiet, that's why. Yeah, she talks like a pussycat sometimes, doesn't she?
They've had a few drinks, by the way, those girls.
So.
Anyway, so,
Can I video before we got cut off?
I'm not sure what's being asked.
Yeah, well, video, but it's switched on.
I think there's many, isn't there? Signal's like, oh, hello. That's a bit rude.
That's so
Like, series, you're awesome. Your face is it all.
Karen's just as well. Oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah. You can't hide behind that beard series.
Oh, not to look old.
Ivy's
Oh, no.
on side.
Oh dear.
But to come back to the question, volcanoes, yeah, the video about there are no forests on the earth is one what actually suggests that they are huge waste piles, in the sense that the whole world is one big quarry. It's just already quarried all over already. Are busy with the last rest or something in that sort of the earth, and that there was it's a huge undertaking what actually caused all those piles all over the world, and some are just breaking out as a chemical reaction because they're chemical waste piles. And you have all these suggestions of that part of the whole world what was left after the flood. The whole flood itself caused the main petrification of actually what was modified in that sense, and then overlaid with tons of water for a long time. No idea how long it actually took. Somehow the 40 days seems a bit short.
Do you think that they've been quarrying round by you then, Daniel?
I don't know. I think it's far-fetched, but I don't know.
And what's left of that? That's hard to make up.
Yeah, I connected with the evidence of the giants and the structures that we see. They had more strength and more technology and that even nowadays. So I connected with that information, and of course they could done a lot of things. They could be another species of trees we don't even understand. But I don't know. I think we need to start by point zero in that aspect, gather information, understanding if it's possible or not. But yeah, it's an entertaining idea for now. I saw the pictures, I saw everything. Of course, you can think about a world being already, and a civilization that is the byproduct. It kind of resonates in a deep level. But I don't know, I'm as well as you guys, we're trying to figure out.
Yeah, indeed. It's all eventually making it up, but actually building the whole tree of knowledge from the ground. To see what is what for real in that sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole perspective of the dimensional part of this in the realm itself. It's just hard to get people actually beyond it, that they perceive it in themselves. They're so used into thinking into 3D cube sense that there is no deviation from any direction other than the axis, but you can have a complete field in any direction in the same axis, in that sense, through the dimensions. And that's the toroidal field, who we are in the center of it all, it's same. And then everybody and everything is the center of it. It doesn't matter where you are in that sense.
I agree.
It's all kind of a vibration focal point in where you have the perceiver of it and the perceiver below and the perceiver above. Fascinating part of one what actually created it and the other to actually perceive it, and both as the witnesses. In a sense, and that's you have your thoughts, you have your emotions, but you have also the watcher. And the watcher is the one what is actually aware of anything at all.
Mm-hmm. What I haven't seen, it's depictions from maybe wallpapers or ancestry where they relate these giant trees. That I think I haven't found much about that. I've seen giant people, but I haven't seen a lot of art depicting giant trees. So I don't know. It's a new idea. It can come from ancestry. I don't know.
What I see is scriptural sides of it, and in a sense you have this particular tree of life in where we have these 3 levels in a garden, and then you have such a tree depiction in that sense. But yeah, that's the tree in another way, I guess. It's the tree in a sense.
What do you think about it, Judith? What do you think about volcanoes? Judith?
She's muted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think about volcanoes?
What I think about
Volcanoes.
what?
What they are.
Volcano. Oh, it's Mother Earth.
Do you believe they're like they've told us?
No, I believe it's natural for Mother Earth volcano.
What do you think, Patricia? What do you think, Patricia, about volcanoes? Patricia!
I'm here.
What do you think about volcanoes?
I've not really thought about them, to be honest. I mean, they're quite fascinating. Don't know. I'd like to go see one, but what do you mean? Do I think they're fake?
Well, different to what they've told us.
I've never really looked into it, so
Okay,
I think that's next on my agenda.
what do you think, Dee?
By the way,
Well, I don't see why there's any reason why they can't still be what we've been told of. There could still be a magma layer underneath us. I'm not saying there definitely is, but yeah, no, I mean, there's definitely earthquakes and stuff going on, so there's tectonic movement, and if there's tectonic movement, that means friction, and if there's friction, that could melt rock. I say a reaction of that, but yeah, it's just part of Mother Earth, like Judith was saying, part of the process of what she does.
So you were going to say you did?
When you're going, when you're going inside to the ocean, so after 4 kilometers, you also see the volcano in the ocean.
It's just,
Underwater.
Yeah, the dilemma for that they didn't go that they couldn't go deeper than 12 kilometers or 8 miles was mainly the heat, I understood. Something like 350 degrees or something. And everything broke down there. So in a technical way, we just go further, no matter how hard they tried.
Yeah, they took like 20 years to advance the last mile because things got hotter and hotter and hotter. Friction is destroying everything.
Frankie, what do you think about volcanoes then? She's coming back.
I'm in steam on I've seen one there. And like we said on that live video earlier on, there's all volcanic rock along the edge here, and then high up in the mountain there's a lot of volcanic rock where it exploded and blew up onto the top. That they were saying that the island has come the volcanic action on the other island further away, and this island came up out of the sea. I think there's one coming up in New Zealand or something as well.
Right. There's always
So,
little islands popping up, isn't there?
Yeah. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. It's ways.
So everybody's had a turn now to what they think of volcanoes are. So nobody knows really. After all that, it's just that they put that in the spanner, didn't they? Saying that volcanoes weren't what they said they were, and it's sort of like, well, that would match into everything else that they've lied about. But again, you know, like we were talking last night, oil and petrol come from the earth. So what a strange place we live that we can make, you smell petrol and oil, it smells weird. That's coming from where we live.
Yeah, volcanoes could have something to do with making oil, maybe. We just don't know, do we? Because oil is very deep down, and volcanoes come from very deep down. So
they say.
I mean, I really don't know. I mean,
So they
that's what I
say,
thought, and, I mean, personally, I like the waste pile idea from the No Trees video. I do like that, but again, I don't know, because there are earthquakes, so I mean, they could still be what we were told.
But the volcanoes may not be that deep down.
We just don't know because the of the whole technical difficulty to even reach that point. I mean, the deepest is 10.5 kilometers at least.
It's not that far, is it, really,
Yeah,
considering?
so in a sense, I would say start drilling there. 2 miles or 2 kilometers further to get beyond the barrier, in that sense. But yeah, there's also that particular pressure from above through the water, so that's a dilemma way.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking about the stars and everything. I'd like to know what's down below. I want to know what we're really sitting on. That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Because you may not.
I know the stuff also.
You may not have worked the stars out or whatever, but at least you can see those. Whereas what's below us, we can't see it. We don't know what it is. We don't, do we? Quite. It's solid for 10 kilometers down.
Always to a fence we can't cross, huh?
Yeah, always to a fence you can't cross. Is there any other subjects that anybody wants to talk about today then? Because at the moment, I mean, a couple of people have said, including D, yeah, we should make sure that we have a topic hangout. But usually you deviate off the topic anyway, and I think we did it anyway, really. That was about frequencies and pyramids. But is there any questions Judith, Patricia, D, Daniel has today?
I saw
Daniel's got one.
3 different channels talking about the inversion of the poles, where they could be actually inverted, like the North Pole is actually the South Pole. And it was so psychotic because 3 different channels talked at the same time, and one is Spanish. So it's an interesting idea. I think it has to do with the fact that it could actually, the compass point, and we couldn't actually know, because it works the same way. So that there's another deception where it's plausible that they could deceive it with that as well. I don't know what if it doesn't make sense at all, but I don't know. Today is made a topic. We could talk about that, or about the Rothschild.
Well, maybe we do both. Well, tell us a little bit more about this program then. With the inverting South Pole and that then.
They were saying that Antarctica was in the center. The first one was Chippy the Chipmunk. I don't know if you know that channel. He came with a model where he put Antarctica in the middle instead of the North Pole. And some of the calculation he had a problem with, they made sense. But I don't know what's going in the outer rim. So that was my biggest puzzle of that theory. This just came today. I just glimpsed it. I have a straight thought about it.
On the south, the circle the other way. Just to confuse it, Looking up at the square in that sense, I just can't go beyond that anymore, other than knowing what the data says. I can't go around that.
I understand. Yeah, that's what you're doing.
Yeah, so many people get caught in the circle in that sense, and that they keep circling the square.
Yeah.
And actually see what it is, because they're keeping with dome, we're never getting out in that sense, never realizing what the actual center is, who they themselves are. Of all the higher levels in there. I mean, body and body.
They're missing the corners as well. Yeah.
It's the awareness of how powerful you actually are. yeah, that's what they try to confuse all the time.
Yeah, maybe it's another version of the map again. There's another version now. Just to stoke it up, keep it stoked up and going. Oh, I just realised Frankie's gone. Yeah, just to make it more. They just want to confuse you again, don't they? Oh, and maybe it's this then. Maybe it's that. Maybe it's that, and it just makes it all more confusing, doesn't it?
It is confusing, but we have to be open to be wrong every time. I mean, we are already here. We already suffered like the major cognitive dissonance, you know, of understanding the Earth is not round. So I think we have to be open and be flexible with that kind of thing. It's okay. You don't have to grasp it and say this is the official thing. No, that's infantile. That's childish. We need to go with a lot of caring of every idea, because every idea has a connection. You said it. We are the center. We are the ones who are understanding reality. Maybe the puzzle is gonna be solved when all these pieces of diversity, all this consciousness come together, and every part puts a different aspect to it. You know, and I think that's what's happening. I don't support any map. I think we're in the process, and we have to be respectful with that. We don't want to, you know, conquer any certainty unless we reach as a community, as a group. That's my idea of it.
So what do you
I
think
know
a
there are
series
a
is
lot
map
of
then,
theories.
Daniel?
It's confusing.
What do you think a series? What do you think a series is map then? After saying that.
I think series is gathering the data and putting it in a model. I totally get it, and that's what he's making. But I'm talking about the aspect of being open, you know, of even though it's Siri, you know, and he can show me the data already, I'm still gonna be skeptical, because you're talking about a huge thing. Of course, you know, it's better to maintain, you know, respect or humbleness towards this thing, you know, because we already fallen in the deepest hole, you know. So we don't even deceive ourselves, you know. We want to be open and respectful. That's how I see it, you know.
Does in that sense that it will take at least a little time to process the whole idea of it, because there's so much more behind this, connecting to this, and everybody knows a little already, and we thought just different about some concepts, and then in this way probably it will line up in a sense. That's what I'm trying to establish in that sense, that we actually realize how it all lines up, what we already know, but never completely comprehended, because couldn't make the connection in that sense. Connection between heaven and earth, and that we are the connection but actually between the pillars we are the pillars in that sense.
Do you want to explain that a bit more then, series?
Right.
The connection between the pillars. Now you started.
Yeah, the earth itself, or
Well, you just said the connection between the pillars is us to heaven.
if you know Santos Bonacci's work, it's actually the whole astrological part of it into the whole clock of life works, with seasons and everything together, and how all the life works in this world. It's just a manual of how things work to have as a religion, but it's just packed into a religion to authority line they keep selling to you. Realize we are the authority to begin with, because we are the authors of our own life. Nobody else could that be. No matter how hard we give it away to somebody else, if it's about the responsibility of that authorship. But it's realization of that you are the power yourself, and that you always have responsibility, no matter how hard you have in your own life.
Hello? Series? Frozen. Is everybody else alright? You there, D? It's just Series. Yeah. Oh, he'll be back in a second.
I'm moving.
He's had a few problems like that the last couple of days. Look, he's stuck in mid-talk. He'll be back.
I'm a bit cold, but I'm not frozen.
Ha, very funny, Patricia. So, does anybody want to carry on with that conversation of Series, or just want to wait till him to come back?
I'm back.
Speak of the devil. We've got two of you now.
My Hangout just hang.
Yeah, I said that. Can you see yourself? Look, there's you stuck in midair there. Oh, you're gone now. Yeah, so you were saying...
No idea where I was.
You were saying, Series? We are between the pillars of Earth. We live...
There is something very bothering me. And this is the sun. It's not as usual. And I see in the YouTube many people speak about this. Many people. And this guy is named Dollar, Eric Dollar. I sent the video to you. And he speak and he said we have half sun today. And the sun is dying. And it connects me with this, what I speak with you a few months ago, and I tell you the light is not the same, it's white, and even with the sunset, it's not yellow, it's white, and you look the sky and it's not the same, and you feel it inside. Everybody, you know, in the phone, and they don't look at the sky, and they don't, but I watch the sky all the time, and I watch the light, and it's not the same light at all. It's not the same sun at all. Something is wrong, something is happening, and I don't know. Yeah, it's very serious. It's very serious. It's the sun. It's the sun. Important.
Yes, you've been saying that from you, that you think, oh, I'm getting cold here. We are having very weird seasons and everything, though, aren't we, as well? You know, like, I don't know. You were talking to Marty yesterday, and he said, you know, like, he said they still got snow on the mountains. He's in Nevada, but they still got snow, and he just said it's the chemtrails, the amount of chemtrails they're getting.
Yeah, and you remember months ago I tell you, even if the sky is clean, it's not clean. It's like you watch behind the nylon. Plastic. Yes? Behind the nylon. And I hear this in many videos. The same word that I said before I watched this video, it's the same word, it's the same feeling. Incredible. Yeah.
I've been noticing that haze you bit. I've been noticing that when looking at the moon, before you zoom in fully, there's that haze across it quite often, and even on clear days or what seemed like clear days. So yeah.
Hmm. What do you think, Patricia or Daniel? It's what Judith said, or series.
The blues are getting grayer in that sense.
The chemtrails could be doing that, couldn't
Yeah,
they? Carry on. Sorry, carry on.
Blue's definitely not as blue, sorry.
Patricia?
Kind of that they're through the years actually building it up. How you cook a frog, degree by degree.
Hmm.
Yeah, I remember white, beautiful cloud. White, beautiful cloud, I remember. Nothing like this. Nothing like this. Yeah. Gray, the sky's gray. It's not, in Middle East, it's very rare to see the sky gray like this, and it's very, yeah, incredible. Yeah.
I don't know. In the UK, we struggle to see it because we've got so much cloud. So I don't know if I could tell you whether the blue's changed colour because we don't get enough days of blue sky. We just get clouds. Yeah, so I couldn't tell you if it's changed colour, the sky, because I don't get to see it long enough.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love watch the video when the army present the new airplane. So you watch the new airplane. So you watch the video, and they don't have time to make the curve. So you see the flat surface. You see the real photo image of the art when they show you the airplane if 20 or 30 or
Oh, that's
so
cool then.
you really see. So not much people watch this video, and I love to see this video. And you see the sky like NASA.
I got dragged into one of those off one of my YouTube channel. Cool, what's that?
Yeah, and I post also Trump with NASA live. It was incredible. Only 100 people watched them, and many funny face. Yeah, so you see, Trump is also playing this game, and yeah, it's very challenge time for us. Very.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is, considering they're threatening wars all the time.
Yeah, in a sense, of the mind of self has to still grow up out of the collective, out of the ego, into the universal as the master. In a sense, at an adult level of how humans should be in this whole childish level back.
What do you make? What do you make about what Judith says about the sun?
And Karen, one more thing. I watch Neil deGrasse Tyson. I love watching because sometimes they tell you the truth. You just have to listen. there is something inside this and nothing. There is something. So he said, um, he said, atom doesn't have dimension. That's what he said.
He said what? Sorry?
Atom doesn't have dimension. And
Or diameter.
yeah, I wrote this because I knew we are going to speak about all this stuff. Yeah, I remember.
What do you reckon of what she's just at, Daniel? Daniel?
I think he didn't follow.
Oh, I was going to say, what did you think
Sorry,
about what Judith said? Brit.
Yeah, kind of. The last part, what was she talking about? She
Yeah, I
was
was,
looking for something.
yeah, I wasn't. Yeah, she's looking for some more information. Did you find it, Judith?
She was talking about the I don't know. For me, the sky is great. You know, It's not the same sky I saw in the city. I lived 30 years in Santiago, and it's so different. You know, here have few little chemtrails, and there's a lot of wind. There's a north wind called Huelche, comes from hot north air, and it cleanses everything. And we have amazing skies, you know, and it rains and comes out the sun. And so I cannot say I'm not marveled by the blue of the sky, and because my contrast with the city is so amazing, you know. So maybe I'm not not relevant for the discussion, you know.
Yeah.
For me, I'm happy having great blue skies and enjoying it. But I think geoengineering is a fact. It's a fact. It's not arguable. Of course, they're messing with that for centuries, and yeah, it's chemistry. So and magnetism. So of course you can intervene. I don't think it's positive in any way, because there's I don't know. I think there's deception behind it. You know, of course there's bad intentions.
Hey, Dee,
know.
did you have any clouds in Jenny Cove?
There are
Wherever it
areas,
is?
you know, there are areas that are more intense than others. The case of London, you don't even have. You only have grey days. That could be geoengineered from the start.
Dee, what's it like down at Jenny Cove then, or whatever it is you go to?
Oh, here today it's been cloudy today, unfortunately. But yeah, no, it's Jenny Cliff I go to.
Jenny
but,
Cliff,
yeah.
that's it, sorry.
Out at the moment. Well, I've got a car, but it's broken, so I've not been out today. Like I said, it's been bad weather anyway, so.
Hmm.
And
What
it's
about-
Star Wars Day today, so I've been having my Star Wars marathon.
Have you? What's it been like with you, Patricia? Because we're just cloudy, Daniel. We're always cloudy. What's it like with you, Patricia?
It's been quite nice today, actually. I've actually been out. It's a bit cloudy now, but earlier it was. I could actually see the sky. It was good. I should have took some pictures actually, because you know it'll get to a point where the sky will just see little bits through the clouds. I need to document this day basis.
Yeah, and then what it is we have all that cloud, and then we have a day where there's not one cloud at all. It's all clouded up again. How does that happen?
Strange, innit?
I did say yesterday, Daniel and you did. I went for a plane flight from Heathrow to in Italy, and it was really, really thick cloud from England to the Alps, which is just the other side of Genoa. So that's a good 1,000 odd miles of just thick cloud. It's just anyway, yeah, all that made cloud, it's disgusting. More and more people are trying to speak up about the chemtrails now. But I'm wondering whether they're using the chemtrails, and what it is we're beginning to see the sun, how it really works, because of those chemtrails and the crystals and whatever they're putting into the air. They're making this art. You know, we wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't for the fact they're messing around with the air and with the clouds and the chemtrails. I need to see how the sun works. I don't know. It's just an idea that came into my mind. Because I've definitely seen, well, my camera's definitely seen 2 extra discs up there with the sun. One on the left, one on the right, and there's orbs and everything. Naked eyes, I had to hold my camera up there, and my camera picked it up. But the P900 doesn't see these things. You ask anybody who's got a P900, they do not see all these anomalies like an iPhone picks up. You know, like say, what was it a P900 doesn't pick up on that an iPhone picks up on? Yeah, I just find it really incredible that nobody with a P900 is picking up the extra discs, but everybody using their phones picks up the discs. So I don't really know what that's about. But I suppose the sun works every day. I take it for granted that it comes round and it's going to give us heat and light. So Judith, do you think that there's another sun waiting to come through then?
Speak to me.
Yeah.
Karen?
Yeah. Do you think there's...
I think we are going very, very, very quickly to change our life. And the energy will be free because there is no money anymore. There is no need money anymore. So we are going to change I think in 5-10 years, our life is going to completely change. No bank, no money. It's going to be free. It's going to be free because no other way. And we become more robotic. We are going to use magnets very, very much. I buy this magnet a few days ago. I don't know why. I love it. You can use it. You can open and play with it. It's a magnet. And it's very good material. I love it. So I believe very quickly we are going to live in another place, another building.
Do you think with your son, Judith, that you know that the sun is different in the spring and it's different in the autumn, and when the spring sun comes, it's a bit like you think, oh my God, I've never cleaned my house ever before, and you think I've got to clean the whole house because I can see dirt and fingerprint now, which you didn't see because the sun is shining a little bit different because it's the spring. Do you think that's picking up on? A spring sun?
No.
No. She's quite adamant about that. No.
Not anymore, Karen. No,
so what do you think?
We are living in the big fucking matrix, and all we have to know is the rules. We have to know the rules to play better in this matrix.
think is going to happen to the sun then?
I worry about the sun. I don't know what they do, but it's not the same. This is for sure the same. And I don't know why something they do, or maybe it's natural like this. It's, I don't know, but it's change. It's not the same. It's not the same color, not light, not warm. I don't know. Days like this, you in Israel, you must in the Middle East, you must. It's too hard, and it's cold. It's still cold. It's still cold, very cold. So.
Well, it's very cold,
Yeah,
and they're
I
saying
think
it's hot.
Very cold. Yeah.
What do you think, Daniel? Do you think your sun's changed at all?
I think it changes every day. I don't think the world has been created. I think it's manifested every day. So we can one day look at it and take some conclusions, and the other day we're gonna find something different, because it's been shifted by consciousness. So what's the limit of that? You know, what's the limit? How you gonna put limit to that understanding? Like, you're gonna say, no, okay, it had to be created one day, or it had to be. We don't know. Like, we don't know how that divine things work. I think creation is a divine aspect, and with this material body and this mind, of course, we can access in the beginning, you know. But then we're just gonna see ourselves. Sometimes we make questions in a childish way, you know. We try to understand it in a material way, and we're gonna receive an answer, a material answer, you know, and you can make any model work. So yeah, I think the truth is we're not even here, you know. I think that's the truth. We're not. This is a consciousness inside, and everything is possible. So we're waking up to that. That's my take. That's my take about the sun. I can see it every day different. I am different every day, so I see different things. I put my attention on different things. I have different levels of awareness in each time. So of course, it's gonna be a different. My experience, you ask me, you're gonna say, okay, I saw it today, was very yellow and soothing, and I felt very connected to it. Today, I felt it was burning, you know, and it was like pushing me away from it and saying, don't be under my light, because it's not the correct moment right now. So I think as everything is a relationship, you know. So in a relationship, there's infinite depth. You know, depth in the relationship. That's my take. I don't see particularly that the sun is going blue. Like I'm gonna say, like, oh my God, the sun is blue today. I would tell you, but no, not that, not that remark.
It'd be nice if we could see the sun. Drop off again then.
No. Hang on.
It's not like you to keep cutting off. What do you think, Dee, then?
Imagine, Karen.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine somebody sucks all the magnets. I see a video, and TV, even if she closes, she sucks the magnet or from all the house, from all the human beings in the house. She grew up, she grew, she take all the magnet from human body, from the house, from everything. So all the big antenna that I see last week, all the big antenna, this is not good for us. How terrible it's for us, I don't know. I don't know. And they make it like a tree. They don't want you to see this. So they make it like a tree. So it sucks the magnet also. And yeah, we must understand what is it for this antenna. Yeah.
Realm we live in.
Yeah.
Mm. Dee, do you want to add anything to that?
No, I'm good. I've
No, I
not
meant
really,
with the suns, with the different
really thought
suns.
about it. Like I said, I've only been looking at the sun for the past couple of months, so I don't really know.
Yeah,
Series?
the looking.
What do you make of what Judith says?
I'm not really sure what she's meaning here.
Well, what she's saying is, she reckons the sun is changing, that the light from the sun is different, and she's worried because she can see it changing. It used to be yellow, and now it's white.
If somebody take the magnet, how it's going to change the atmosphere if somebody is playing with the magnet in the atmosphere, in our magnet.
There is only one powerful enough to actually do something like that, but as far as I understand it, no matter how much humans are bringing them into the world, like CERN is a very powerful experiment changing time. I'm not really sure about that. It's all kind of unproven story in that sense, the same as all the rest they're telling through all the other channels. It's again the same authority thing in where you have to give your authority to because you believe it in that sense. Eventually it boils down to actually just believe in yourself. The mongering there is, in that sense, the fearing the Most High. That's the only thing you have to do. And then as his first commandment, the same, loving him as well. So basically there's nothing to fear. It could be that the story itself is the horror, in where you actually get drawn because of this tension of the stories. Stick in a sense, but yeah, it doesn't mean that they're actually true or something. Putting your belief in it. Just to let, in a way, your responsibility again for your own freedom and just let them lead you in a sense. That's what they're doing all the time. In a way, just purely listening to yourself, to your intuition. Think what comes within you instead of what the mind makes of it all. In a way, things are terrible. And they're happening all over the world. And you can dive into the seriousness of how it is and such. But eventually, you're the one going through the emotions instead of actually not being in the here and now. Time is they actually try to deflect us from with all the input, like the TV, like the radio, like the whole kind of music addiction where you keep listening music and never actually listen to the universe, to the whispers within, in that sense. Because they can the whispers in that sense, and the whispers are the ones who are actually telling you the truth of yourself. You already know. Yeah, we already know so much truth. And it's the only way we can actually recognize it for that it is the truth.
I have a theory. What if this is my imagination, but I want to share. What if the sky, the climate, is being controlled not by antennas or magnets, but by us? That we are the magnets. We are the ones who are capable of shifting it. So by controlling our thoughts and by controlling us, they are controlling the climate. So the climate is actually a reflection of our social emotions. You know, it's a reflection of our state of consciousness as a collective. It's an idea that came, I don't know.
Yeah, in a way you're right. It's what we reflect and also projects in other one's lives. In a way. And that's how they get us, just by putting the focus through all those channels we so we don't have to muse, because musing, yeah, that's very hard. It's painful for the brain in a sense. Actually thinking.
Yeah.
About the fact that it's our consciousness shape moving it, weather, the sun. Carry on, Patricia.
Sometimes when I'm listening to other people and what they're saying and stuff, I feel like standing up and saying, I'm Patricia Van Hurst and I'm in the club, and now, you know, and you just want to sort of get it out there and just get it off your chest.
Sorry, Patricia. Patricia, 1 second. I'm really sorry. That's Wilson trying to come in. Series, can you help him come in?
Give a link here.
Sorry, How dare he while I'm talking?
Go on then. You carry on.
I'm joking. I think I've just said it. Right, you just want to sort of stand up and say, "This is who I am." I don't know where I'm going with this, to be honest, but...
Hi, Wilson. One second, Patricia. Wilson, you've got Patricia, Patricia from the UK, Judith from Israel, Daniel from Chile, Ceres, you know Ceres, and Dee from the UK. Welcome, Wilson.
We're gonna have to start calling ourselves the United Nations.
Sorry, Patricia was just finishing something to say, and then I know Wilson's always got lots to say, but finish your question. Sorry, Patricia. Answer.
Just, you know, like when I'm listening to people, I just want to stand up and go, I'm me. You know, I don't want to believe in one thing over another. I just want to be open to everything. Into it through my own eyes, not just by what somebody else has said. And
I can ask you this question, Wilson. Like Patricia's feeling like that.
People put something up and say, they say
Uh-huh.
No.
Now he's ready.
Oh, he's back. Is he back? Wilson, we
He's
can't
making
hear you.
Oh,
For a 2-year-old research. Yeah. I'm gonna do the same.
Wilson, we can't hear
So
you.
we had a problem.
so yeah.
Communication.
I don't think you... Wilson, we can't hear you.
Yeah, shut down your video.
No podemos escucharte.
He can't hear us. 1 second. No, he's gone into a great big speech and we can't hear him.
It's in a lifetime run.
Wilson, we can't hear you. Wilson, take off your camera. Take off the camera.
Wilson, we love you in the nose.
Yeah, we love you, but turn off the camera.
Yeah. Wilson, we love you. Turn off the camera.
Oh dear.
No.
Going for a reason.
It's just lagging all the time. We didn't hear a word you said. We just heard it whirring. Can you turn off your camera so that we... That's it. That's it. Now put your volume back on. No, he's got his mute on now. Wilson, just take your... That's it. Speak now.
Hear me?
That's a bit better, yeah. We didn't hear any of what you said, Wilson.
Yeah. Oh, my picture's frozen too.
Is there any way you just take your camera off so we can just hear you and then it might not... Because I've taken my camera off.
Alright, well, let me just do this thing here. I don't know, nothing seems to be happening with it anyway. It's just like... Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay.
Slower.
I seen it go off and I said, I'm just going to grab my guitar and play that until somebody actually says something.
So we're here, we're listening. We wanted to hear what you said.
It's this, I started doing my research, to be honest with you, I never really started researching anything until I started looking at history and actually like going outside and talking to people in churches or in the community just to find something out. But the videos always say the same thing. They're like, don't take my word for it, research. Just go look at this. And like, I go look at that, then I'm going to come to the same conclusion that that person did. I'm just going to know what they knew. So I started looking at things, and well, lo and behold, if you go and take a look at what Wikipedia says about flat Earth, it's a bunch of nonsense. It's enough to turn you off from it, like right from the start. But when you actually take a look at how far back all this stuff goes and how many people believed in it, and how it's actually perceived and the things that are connected to it, thinking like, what's going on here? This is actually pretty insane.
Yeah.
I did my own work. I did my own work. I ignored.
Yeah, the amount of effort they take to make it ridiculous.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just.
So you're getting a lot of people that have their own. Oh, look there again. Have their own perspective. That's cool. But they're not connecting all the puzzle pieces. They're only putting in what another person said. Now, I started this. It's going on 5 years for me. A little over 4. The first people that I've seen doing this, I've seen those videos show up and people say 100% proof, new info, and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
No, you're just doing a video of a video of a video of a video of a video. I started to look into. This started with me looking into other things. It started with me with the Bible, and I was thinking I'm going to be a good, strong Christian, and my mind was very, very foggy of what things mean. And I started to come across information unwittingly in this universe that I am open to any and all information, and I don't care how it messes with my head, but I want to know it all. And almost like terms of serendipity, I started finding things that connect to other things, like the Indo-European language, which pertains to the Germanic people, which pertains to Latin, which pertains to Rome and Roma, and where we live to. That's based off of the old Roman rule, which were the conquerors of the old world. And we still live in it. We still do the same kind of commerce. We still live in the same way. There's always a kingdom in the center, and there's all the poor people around on the outside paying the taxes and making sure that the fat people are fat, and us lessers are doing what they are. And I don't mean that in the sense of body fat. I mean in the sense of what the gluttons are getting. And we see this, and we see all of it as it takes place. Well, we're not going to stand for it, but what do? We do the exact same things that they do, and we live in the same world that they did, and, committing the same atrocities. So people are not doing their research. I would say the first clue is language. You start to research language, the origins, what happened, and how many things are exactly the same. And then you have to take a look at commerce. How commerce is done, how money exists, which is funny because money is just nonsense. And the more you research and the more you see, the more you start to see around you is not a set of haves and have-nots. It's haves and have-nots in the concern of control and power. It works the same way as a corporation. And if you look up the term corporation, you would actually be really sick about what it is that you're seeing. The words we use, like demon. A demon is a person, a soulless thing. And a person is a piece of paper, a dead ledger, which is a correspondence. So we, currency of this realm. If you're having trouble following, I'm sorry, my brain
No, we're listening.
Together.
We follow you. Say in Santos Bonatti, he said.
Yeah.
We follow you.
Wilson likes him.
Once I closed my mind off to the idea that I'm not technically a slave.
No.
But I don't have to live like a slave. I started to open my mind to I'm allowed to learn whatever I want. And I don't need to be a specific kind of professional. And and to give a pretty,
What's that?
but I didn't know how to make a solo
All
because I
right.
didn't know where it was. They told me, well, solos are in an A. Well, so if you're playing an A, you play your solo in it. I was like, what do you mean? So they said you go up to the top string, that's E, F, G, A. So if you play a solo in A, that theoretical knowledge was so simple that I thought to myself, millions of people all around the world saying that this is so important, that, you know, they're important as a result. Why would you have to pay for it in these trades and services? So I started learning about commerce. When I started to learn about commerce, I realized that the correspondence called money is to keep track of the value of the trades and services provided by human beings. Therefore, human beings are equity. The amount of life that you have on this planet to your corresponding place of origin is the corporation that you're affiliated with, and therefore you, in fact, corporation, and therefore part of a corporation. But not you yourself as a human being, your personification. That's why you have to go to school, and that's why you have to do something to become a professional, because once it's written on paper and you identify with your identity, your birth certificate, your social security number or social insurance number, however it's spoken, then you're part of the corporation, and you willfully admit that you are part of the corporation. And whatever you create within that corporation is you generating equity. If you learn to play an instrument on your own, no, but if I had a piece of paper that says, yeah, well, Wilson knows how to do theory and this and this and this and this, then I am a qualified professional, but not.
Can everybody hear Wilson? You're breaking up a bit again. You're just a bit. It's breaking up a little bit. Take your camera off. Wilson, take your camera off to speak, because it's
to attach it to. Thing that it is that you do within what it is that I'm talking about then becomes an intrinsic field towards equity. It says that this in itself is something that can be bought, sold, and traded, and then they can put a monetary value to it, which would be the correspondence of whatever it is in that area. So if the people in that area who's like who's teaching guitar says, well, it's $80 a month per student. Well, there you go. You have your bar set to where it needs to be. Then you can take in the correspondence to what it is, and you can pay the taxes. The government gets their cut, like the little criminals that they are, and you're legally now allowed. How funny is that? You're legally now allowed to pursue a dream or a goal, because it is, in fact, now a reality. It's reality because it's on paper. But let's remember what paper is. Paper's a dead thing. It's not alive. It can't speak on its own. Yet, it has the magic of the written word. So therefore, somebody can speak for it. A lawyer can pick it up and say, well, this is a valid document. Your signature's right there on it, stating that you know how to do these things. You've been doing them for this many years, and you haven't been paying taxes, and therefore you broke the law. So now they can do something even really, really horrible to you. They can take you and stick you in jail. Now, how messed up is this? If you apply that to the non-legal form of this very same thing that I spoke about, in a small community, when you have stores, there would be a group. They call them organized criminals. So organized crime syndicate comes into your workplace and says, you know, if you don't pay us protection money, we're going to come over there and we're going to smash your stuff. So you're paying them to protect you from other people, plus you're paying them to protect you from them if you don't pay them. So you pay them, right? And then they protect you and they don't let nobody touch your store and they don't do nothing to your store. But if you fail to pay the protection money, they come in, they beat your stuff up. So if you fail to pay your taxes, what do?
In a way, it's
they
also
put you in jail, they take your freedom, and they scare the shit out of you. They send people with guns into your house and put cuffs on you and physically remove you from one place and put you into another place against your will from a written document. So a writ and your persona, your personification, what you think you are, think that you are free, is all a bunch of crap. Flat Earth is just the beginning. Once you open up your eyes to the fact that you've been lied to long enough, you start to see all the corresponding lies. Everything that's connected. And this is very important. This is very important stuff because we can say, hey, you know, the Earth is blah blah shape all you want. To be free as long as those are the things that run your life. I tell you what, anybody here try and go to another country or try to go out and change your cell phone number without your identification. See what happens. Person at the store laugh at you. I can't do that for you. I'm sorry. You don't got no ID there. I don't know if it's you. What do you mean you don't know if it's me? It's my phone. It's here in my possession. I'm asking you to change my number on my phone, and you're going to tell me you're not going to do it because I don't have a sick thing here with my picture on it? But no, they won't. They won't do it. They won't touch it because you are not that person unless you can prove it. So if they have to prove that you're a person with a piece of paper, then prove that I did something. You don't have to. There's legal terminology for this. When a police officer comes to your house and reads you out this big statement and asks you if you understand, you're not saying that I comprehend. Under the law, when you say I understand, it means you stand under the agreement that was just made. He read you out an agreement. You just agreed to it. Therefore, you already, told the person, hey, I'm guilty of that because I stand under what it is that you just spoke to me. But we don't even know half of the time when we're speaking to people what we're saying. So when I say people don't understand English and they're only getting part of the information when they're looking into this crap, they're really not getting it. They're really not listening. I'm trying to tell people, hey, you don't know what you're saying.
In Dutch.
Sorry, go ahead.
I really wonder how they do this trick actually in Dutch. What the words are they are actually using, because the Dutch words are just way different than the English ones. Well, stays the same in that sense.
Exactly, yeah. So it's how we're looking at it. If they want to translate it, if they say, well, we're moving your case, if you were affected by somebody from the United States and they want to do that case in the United States, they can simply translate it over to English and still use the same kind of demonology. And when I say that word, there's a smear campaign on that word. Demon originally means a dead thing that has no soul. That's a piece of paper. That's what a persona is. So under the law, you are a demon, a monster, a creature. But I don't mean you, the human being. I mean that piece of paper you carry around in your wallet.
What you mean
It
is you
exist.
think you're walking around with one thing, but you're not. You're really walking around with something else.
You're walking around with slave papers. Everybody on Earth has slave papers. It all came in effect, and once upon a time, they had slaves. And then they made the amendment. They all got together. They signed the declaration, and they made everybody slaves. And now everyone's slaves. Santos Bonacci actually covered this a long time ago in the concerns of the Vatican. The Vatican is the ones that created the actual certification and the trust law. All laws are based off of the original laws that were supposed to be passed down to human beings as faith. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal.
You're still owned by the Vatican.
Yeah.
That's the title.
The Vatican is the biggest evil in the world. They did everything. They've torn human beings apart. They've taken women, called them witches, and stuck things inside of their body that had flames and oils and stuff. These were monsters. Human beings. And we go and kiss their rings. The President of the United States hangs out with them, and here he's supposed to be a Muslim, and he speaks against the Bible in some of his speeches. So what is it you're looking at when you look at the multimedia and you look at the world? Are you looking at reality, or are you looking at one big play because they all know what's what? They just think that we're all too stupid and are just going to do and think exactly what they tell us to do. And that's how it's been for 500 years.
No, don't question anything.
No, I like what she said. Question everything.
Yeah, question everything.
Stand up and say, you know something, I like what you're saying, but I'm going to go my own way. You know?
With yourself.
I got the answer? No, I don't. I got 2% information. That's why I want to talk to Santos. But I got 2% of real information, and now I'm looking around going, no. You don't own me. Carry that piece of paper, give in to that piece of paper. If it comes down to it, my life is put on the line, I'm going to very sharply and very strongly ignore that piece of paper and that identification and say I'm there on my own amity. I don't have to say my name. Go ahead, put me in jail. Take my fingerprints and do whatever it is that you got to do. But I'm going to fight about it. But human rights.
Wilson reckons it's a couple of years old. Did everybody see that one about Santos at the courts saying basically a birth certificate is your death certificate?
Yeah, there was a follow-up of that.
It's a couple of years old though.
Yeah, he's been doing this a long time. He's been doing this a really long time, since he had brown hair. And the first video I seen of him, he had no idea. He was a greenhorn in the first video I seen of him, but what he had to say, he was passionate about. And I was like, this man is making sense. And he's trying so hard to make sense, and it is very, very difficult for him. So, right at that moment, I'm like, if this warrants some attention. And when I started researching, I was like, holy crap, it doesn't just warrant attention. Here we are following monsters. Like, these people are monsters. The Queen is a monster. She is a monstrous human being. Oh, how many people are sick and dying, and she lives in a place where she has more bathrooms than she can use. She can't use them all. Not in a month.
She has been given that though, hasn't she? It's not that she's asked for it. It's come with being a queen, hasn't it? She gets this, that, and the other.
She took it. You know, Canadian money's got the Queen on it, right?
Yeah. I think she's a bit more of a monster than her accommodation.
She owns Canada, right?
Someone told us that she owns the biggest reserve of uranium. I mean, I think that's a bit more worrying. What the flip does our Queen have the biggest amount of uranium for? Sorry?
People say back in the day that the lady is a figurehead, that she's not somebody expect change.
She's a reptilian, they say.
Let me tell you, she calls the military over there and says, "Listen, I want you to do this." They're doing it. They will do it for her. If she
Well-
wants somebody dead, they're dying.
Do you think the UK runs a lot of all this Illuminati, whatever it is? Do you think it comes from the UK?
Are you kidding? The United Kingdom is one of the superpowers. The United States is a slave country of the world. The United States helped build the slave trade, make it possible. And the United States answers to the Vatican. You know they do. What do you think the president of the United States goes over and has a little conversation with the new pope? Them and the United Nations and the Queen is all gonna get together and they're gonna make policy. All good and well. I mean, it's all behind closed doors and it's all very, very soft, but you can see everything happens. So when something new is coming into effect, and something new is coming into effect.
So who rules the Queen? The Pope? Or the Queen rules the Pope?
I don't know. I think the Vatican has more power because they have hands on the religious institution. Every institution that thinks they're not a part of the Vatican is delusional because they're based off of Christianity. And the Holy Roman Empire is everywhere. There isn't a place on earth that does not have a Catholic Church. Everywhere on earth has a Catholic Church. Has Christianity, Protestants, has the whole 9 yards. You go to Africa, churches. You go to Australia, churches. United Kingdom, loads of churches.
But we're Protestant here, Wilson.
It's a matter of how much power they're willing to share and how much they actually portions of I'll take care of my affairs. And now you have Prince William, he's going to be taking care of things. You know what would have happened if Princess Diana had become queen? If it died, a commoner would have been queen.
Yeah.
Think about it for a minute. She didn't die out by accident. I say the queen herself had her killed. And it's very likely, I mean...
You haven't heard the latest then, Wilson. Wilson, the latest stories are that she never was a she, she's always been a he, and he's now married to Elton John. Princess Diana is Elton John's husband. That's what the internet says.
The internet is a very sensationalist place.
But they put them side by side. Their mannerisms, their face, their smile, their teeth, it all matches.
Yeah. You ever notice how, and I'm going to sound vulgar, but I'm going to say it anyway. You ever notice that there are specific body types of women? Breasts have small butts, women with large butts have small breasts.
I have a big bottom and big breasts, so I don't fit into that one.
there's a category of woman. There's a category of woman that has both, but they're a little more rare than the other two. The other two are more common. But these different women body types are very specific to a community and to like how we actually proceed as human beings. There was a pecking order, just like animals, like a lion. There's a bunch of lioness. Let's just call them lion. I don't know, stupid words. There's a bunch of female lions. One is the boss, and then there's a few other that help her take care of the cubs. So you have different kinds of women. These women with the larger breasts would help moms with breastfeeding. because they would actually be able to produce milk. The fat that they deposit in your chest would help. You know, this is normal in older society, in much older society. And we've actually seen evidence of these wet nurses. Now, I do have a point that I'm going with this. There are certain physical aspects of men and women where there are similarities, where you could put people side by side and you can say, yeah, I mean, but I mean, for my opinion, I think Ellen DeGeneres is Justin Bieber's love child. I mean, if you look at the old pictures of Justin Bieber and put it side by side with Ellen DeGeneres, man, that could be her son. I said that for years, and people just like laughed at me, and I was like, just go and take a look. Go put them side by side. And man, they look a lot alike.
He also looks very like Miley Cyrus as well.
But in any case, sensationalist stuff like that, I'm just like, what would be the point? What exactly would have been the point? And homosexuality back in those times was not looked at like today. If the prince was going out with a man secretly and mom found out, she'd be getting killed in those times, right? And it would have you just die. They're not gonna like stage this. It was too much money, effort, and time. Like, I mean, come on. All the effort put into
It's hard to know what to trust anymore. What are you? Sorry, 1 second, Wilson. What are you making of all this, Daniel? He doesn't know what to say.
Yeah, no. What should I say? You know, like, of course, I see the agenda. I've seen it. I watch it closely, and I've seen it in the news and everywhere. You know, there's a new agenda where these transgenerative things are going on. If I know the origin, of course, I think we're talking about the same people, and I agree with Will from what he's exposing.
Yeah, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense, and it would be expensive. And we have to remember, in the 1980s, 1990s, correspondence was not in question. Even now, of course, money is not in question. But I keep saying to people, how do you think they make it? And somebody else asked that question, how do you make money? Well, you go out and you get a job. No. How do you make money? You print it. They have the ability to print it. And they're telling you that we're in debt. You tell me you just can't print off $1 million and give it to them? Then why? Why can't you do that? Because it actually has no value. And then they just print off a bunch of it because the money would be intrinsic and have a value on its own, and say, here you go. Here's the debt. This is what we owe you. We just printed it off. It's all fresh. It's all good, right? We're going to give it to you in nice, crisp $100 bills. And we're just going to ship it to you, and debt is over. No. They have to keep everybody in fear, thinking that they have to continue paying taxes because you need to work to keep society going. You need to build to keep society going. They keep building and breaking things down, right? And they live with the very best and keeps doing their very monotonous thing, where you're building homes and breaking homes down, and you're building businesses and breaking businesses down, and you're paying other people to get up and do the same thing. But the Queen's house has been around a long time. The Vatican's castle has been around a long time. The White House has been around forever.
I think lately the last popes have been like more evident, you know, like they're now in the science, you know, like they are proving science and the Big Bang Theory and all the things. So it's getting more clear how they're connected, you know, like, and how the Church and the Vatican works with their own inner agenda. They don't follow not the Bible, not anything, and it's evident.
Well, let me ask you a really simple question. If somebody asked you what Alpha and Omega is, would you know right off the hop? What is the Alpha and the Omega?
In which sense?
Okay, so when you start to do Bible study, you start to understand that when they refer to the Alpha and the Omega, they're talking about God. The word Alpha comes from the old Hebrew word Aleph. Aleph comes from an old symbol that if you look it up, it looks like an A. And this old symbol is like an A turned on its side, actually pertains to an animal. The animal is an ox. It comes from the Phoenicians, who when they did commerce, they used symbols. Now, I'm getting things a little bit muddled up. I have to do better research on it, but I have taken notes, and I've taken it upon myself to look into some of these things. But when you look it up and you go back, the further you go back, the more you see that one person came up with something that looked closely to a recognizable picture, and they were symbols, and those symbols were changed into other symbols. And now we have an alphabet. So Alpha, A, means ox. It's a horned beast. So when you say Alpha and Omega, you're referring to a horned beast. So if you go to church and you try to make sense of all of these different things, making sense of the up-to-date version of what we say we think something is, or what it actually came from. If we look back into history, we start to see that we don't actually know. So there's an underlying story in the Bible, and it's really important that everybody get this when I'm saying this. The underlying story was so valuable that the Constantine said this is really something. This can like bring my people together, and all these pagans can stop warring with each other over which god is the best, and we can all be under one god. Now Constantine was on his deathbed and converted over Christianity. He was the first pope. Now when you grasp that in your head, Constantine remained a pagan up until his last days, which means he believed in the old gods when he spoke about them. He started to believe so strongly in this Christianity thing that these Christians were talking about, powerful, that he decided to convert in his last moments. He still wanted to live as a pagan, but then he converted last going on. Now, stuff. The word J from Jesus is only a couple of 100 years old. The original naming for Jesus was Yeshua. Refer to the man who spoke about God, you're talking about Yeshua. If you're going to tell know what happened back then you're just taking whatever it is that they put out on paper that they can't really explain to you in the first place. Because 1,000 years ago, English was spoken extremely different. The translations from the medieval period come from a lot of people who were just idiots, and they didn't know they didn't even know how to write Latin words properly. So I don't know how they translated the ancient texts. But the story itself has a portion that's so take it out because it would lose its ability to change people's minds. So there's portions of the Bible that have some very strict and powerful truths. But then there's a portion of the Bible that has man's hand touching it. When I tell people online, I'm like, the Bible is a tainted pool. Talking about, they think I'm being blasphemous. I'm like, listen, what's the infallible part? Is it God, the creator, and how you perceive that? Or is it that book you're holding? Because I'm pretty sure it's been rewritten so many times, you really don't know whether or not a portion of it is true or not. But the underlying story and what was being told to you and the importance of it, that's the substance of the Bible comes from. So most people, they're not going to grasp what this was, where it came from, and why it was so powerful. And this is why the Vatican is in power. Have a lot of this information. They have old scrolls, they have the whole 9 yards, they have people working on it since day one. So what do we know? And when I look at the Vatican, I see some really bad people. Like if you look up Pope Innocent, just him, and what he did, you'll see. These people were bad people, and they come from bad people, and they're not out to, like, you know, help you. They're out to convert you and to control and to have what they have and continue to have. The Vatican itself is a country on its own. I mean,
Yeah.
oh man. Anyway, I'm gonna blabber on and overstate things.
We were listening, Wilson.
Please put your 2 cents in. Please put your 2 cents in, because I'm a motor mouth. I'm gonna put this here.
Yeah,
That lady, what's her name? She picked up a guitar.
You did.
A little bit excited when she did that.
Ceres has got one. Ceres, show him your guitar.
Yeah, I have also one, but then we never heard her.
You did. Can you play then?
Yeah.
I'm learning. Oh, I love it.
1 second, Ceres. Someone's trying to call in now. Hit Ceres. Someone's trying to call in. I don't recognise you.
I'm just going to. I'm actually in a lower tuning, so
Judith's gonna love this. She loves live music.
I tune down 1/2 step. I like to play a little bit of Hendrix stuff. So there's a few people that play guitar here. Do you guys study guitar theory, music theory? I say guitar theory, but I should say music theory. Guitar theory, but it's all pretty much all the same thing once you start to learn it.
Yeah, some instruments are just written in different, how do you call those? Tone letters.
Once I started doing theory, I started seeing how things like, my friend has this instrument called a bouzouki. It's like a large mandolin. I went over to his house and he's like, this is C, this is G, and this is D. And I was like, oh, pretty cool. So I started playing C, A, and G. Actually, no, E, F, and G. And we started doing a little song, and I started playing along. And then music theory, I started hearing these little subtle differences. And before I even knew how to play his bouzouki, when I was sitting there with it, I knew it was out of tune. So I tuned his bouzouki to the mandolin that he was playing, and then we started to play. And I was like, that's actually really, really cool. So I see how, like, all these different string instruments, even the winded instruments, how closely connected they are. They're all pretty much all the same thing. Once you know the alphabet in music, it's all really, really easy. it only goes from A to G. Right? People are like, oh no, there's 12. No, there's not. There's 7 notes that are expanded on. There are exactly 7 notes, and they're like, no, there's not. There's okay. Well, tell me how there's more. You know, well, there's a B flat. I said B flat is just lower on B. A sharp. Right? So I'm like, no. It's all pretty much the same thing. So once you get past that complicated part, knowing what's a half step, what's a tone, what's a semitone, and then where's the alphabet too. I could show some people who are here that if you don't know music theory, I can show you a couple of really cool things, really easy things that pretty much will open up your mind to what everything means on a guitar. And then you'd be like, oh, well, that song is done in this, and that song is done in actually pretty easy.
In a way, I grew up with music.
You already know it. Then
playing the guitar eventually. But I haven't really practiced for years. So I really actually completely lost everything I could play. My own riddle of what I know of what I have in my fingers.
Daniel, D can play a little bit. Daniel, can you play?
No, I don't play guitar. I can play flute and improvise.
I can't play. Patricia's probably the same. I don't think Patricia plays.
Electric is also a complete other sound as the acoustic in a way.
1 second. Series, just give
with fingers.
Just give a tiny blast on your guitar. Go on then. Wilson's blasted on his.
Chromatic means colors. Very chromatic. Step down into this 7. Sorry.
Can't hear what Wilson says. Now he's frozen. You're frozen, Wilson.
Yeah. Video is taking the band.
Also, Gary's trying to join. Oh my goodness, he's playing. What is that noise? Oh, it's Wilson. He can play the guitar quite well. I know you can't hear it properly, but he can play quite well. Series, who have you got with you? Who's with you? Series.
Michelle.
Hello. We've got to wait for Wilson to finish. It's a bit annoying because he can play the guitar really well, but we can't hear it. I don't have the same thing as like Laurie. Hello.
I remember you're the girl from the start of England.
Oh. Who was singing then? Was that Daniel singing?
Yeah.
Ah. I think it was Daniel and Michelle.
Oh, Daniel, I just came from.
Wilson, that was really good, but you broke up a little bit. We couldn't hear it all.
You broke up the internet.
This is just getting mad. I love it.
I know, but Wilson can't hear that we can't hear him. It plays all right for a while, doesn't it, with Wilson? He says what he says, you can hear it perfectly, and then suddenly it goes all weird.
Oh.
I think Judith should put her spoke in.
Yeah, but it keeps breaking up, Wilson. We can't hear it properly. It's because he's not using Wi-Fi at home. It's because he's using the internet. And then I suppose it just... You know, there's wonderful satellites up there. It just cuts you out sometimes.
Karen, I like to say something.
Yeah, go on then.
Yeah. I like to say something about what the Wilson said about the metrics, about the vegan.
You have to sing it, Judy.
I think you just have to go with the flow, Judith. Wait till...
Go ahead.
1 second, Judith. Just let him... Because he actually plays the guitar really well. D, this will be you next week. Hey, we've got Gary.
Hello, using my new phone, so bear with me.
You managed to join, okay?
Everyone okay?
Yeah, well we've got Wilson here. He's playing the guitar, but he keeps going in and out of signal, so we can't hear it all. But I'll just go. We've got D, obviously you, Series, Daniel from Chile, Judith from Israel, Patricia UK, Wilson playing the guitarist from Canada, and me. But we can't really hear a lot of what Wilson's playing because he's got a really bad signal. And he can't hear us telling him.
So he's playing, but it's here. What you're
Yeah, it's going in and out, in and out, in and out, and he doesn't hear us, so we can't hear him.
Yeah, I must admit.
It's a new kind of Hangout one.
Well, Judith has a question she wants to ask.
What?
She's just gonna have to go for it. Quick, Judith. He's quiet. Wilson, we can't hear it properly.
Huh?
We can't hear you properly because you keep going in and out of. It keeps going in and out, so we just get bits of it.
Plus nobody
You
can
guys
speak.
are going in. You're going in and out too. All I can hear is
Gary just arrived.
We've got someone else on the Hangout, Wilson. We've got Gary from the UK.
hello. I'm trying to sort out my angle.
Sorry, Wilson. Play the guitar in a minute, Wilson, and hopefully it'll be all right. But Judith just wanted.
still just messing around.
Judith's been inspired. Wilson, Judith's been inspired to ask a question after listening to you. So Judith, say your question.
I don't have actually a question. I just want to say, we all here is testing, in the testing machine, and we have all the time to choose the chosen, and we can choose to go to the left, to the right, later on. It's depend of us. So in this matrix, when we know the rules, so we know better our way, and this is what is good. We have all the time. We can choose when we want. Deal with the devil or deal with the heaven. It's depend of us. So it's a big challenge. It's a big challenge. We don't have to be nervous about this, because when we are getting nervous, so that's because we didn't find the solution to go in the right way. So we are nervous. So it's a big challenge. We have to take it like a beautiful, beautiful game. And it's always depend on us, what we choose, where we're choosing to go, how we choosing our life, to live our life. Build a house, maybe live in RV, maybe grow up our children and not send them to the system. So it always depends on us, how we want to live our life. And we don't have to be angry about the matrix. We just have to know the rules. Good enough. And stay in harmony. And my dream is to hear a series and listen together with the guitar. Namaste.
Well, they've got to play together. Did you hear that, Wilson series? Maybe we have to do that another day, because we have been on Hangout for 2 hours. But we'll start the Hangout with Wilson and series playing the guitar. Oh, but you haven't heard.
What key is he playing?
Nice intro.
See, you haven't heard series. Series is more classical.
Yeah, it's the same guitar as you speak with Judith. Spanish acoustic.
Oh, classical guitar.
Maybe not today, because as I say, we've been on this Hangout and we've got Daniel. We just have series and Wilson on there, and you can play together.
I want to Karen.
Yeah.
I didn't answer about what I said. We
do. So, all right then. I'm going to ask it down the line then. I'm going to start with D. D, what do you think about what Judith just said about having a choice then? Or we don't have a choice?
That's a tricky one, that one. Because that comes along with, are your thoughts your own? And it's, again, our thoughts seem to be a construct coming from somewhere else. Original thought, is there any such thing? Same as original thought, is there any real such thing as choice? I'm finding that I seem to be sat in the park, so choice for me doesn't seem to be as big an issue anymore. Right, that's just my opinion.
I tend to think that we live inside this created boundary of what it is you're capable of, and therefore choice is more ultimatum. You can either do this or you can do that. And if you bring in an original thought, then that would actually be something worth talking about. And I don't mean you personally, I mean as a human race. If somebody comes along and it doesn't fit within that ultimatum, you get a lot of people saying, man, that guy should be wearing a tin hat. He's crazy. That's insane for him to say that. So you have a lot of problems there. The herd is just not going to listen to you, and they're going to say, well, this guy's insane. And if I spoke some of the things that I think out loud in the community, somebody would have me committed. It's not thinking like us. There's something wrong. So in the realms of what's possible, when I think about what is it we've learned, and what is it we've come to learn that has been taught in the past 500 years? How to think, how to do, how to be. Somebody taught everybody who's sitting here how to eat, how to use the bathroom. Where did the rest of the information come from?
Yeah, all the hows, but never the whys.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when you know the why, you know the how as well. Anyway, because of the why.
I've just realised someone I didn't add to the Hangout series was Alan.
Oh.
I'll try and add him now, but I've left it a bit late. He's probably gone to bed. I just realised. Do you remember I was going through the list and oh no. Let me just get the Hangout. See if just about get him on if he's up. All right, down the line then. So Wilson's said what he thinks. Go on, I'll ask Gary then, because Gary hasn't said anything. Gary, what do you think about what Judith says?
Well, I must admit, it was. I found I was still trying to muck around with my phone to get it in the right position, and I found that it was on this new phone. I was still trying to get a bit used to the volume, so I didn't actually hear the whole thing. But it was all to do with having. Is that the gist?
Yeah, I guess maybe the choice between doing the good thing or the bad thing.
Well, I mean, obviously, and the good thing is the only thing that I think we can all support. But even though I may be absolutely going down the wrong path now, because I'm not too sure exactly the thread, and I do apologise. For me, I totally believe that choice is critical for me. You know, there's two things that are so paramount for me. That is choice and health. If I have them, then everything else follows. If that fits in with the thread, then hopefully it does. If it doesn't, I apologise. I didn't really what Judith said because I was faffing around my phone at the time. I'm sorry if it doesn't help.
Well, it's just for an answer. Daniel, what do you think then?
The question is having choice. I didn't get it as well. What is the original question of Judy?
Well, she's saying she believes it's our, we have a choice in all this. She's saying we believe she has a choice. We have a choice, and which choice do you take? Left, right? Which your choice? Which do you? So she's saying, do you believe that?
Yes, of course. I think the challenge is in understanding the purpose. If you have a right purpose or a real purpose, you can advance in the second level. You know, like if not, I think your choices can be deceived. You know, like in the sense we talk about preferences and choices, and not all those choices or all those preferences are, you know, selected by you. They're inputs. So yeah, I think when you start asking the questions, the right questions, and you do the thought process, you access to a real purpose, and then you really have a choice, you know, and then you really have the ability to create something different. The choice, of course, of minimal things we're choosing every day, everything, you know, like but still it comes from our paradigm, from inside our boundary. So of course that is going to affect as well. That's my take.
Thank you very much for that, Daniel. I think Wilson feels that we're already controlled and living in a prison, and we kind of are, but the one thing they can't, maybe if you can keep it that way, is your soul. They can't make your soul a prisoner somehow. That's free in your head.
Your brain.
I can take everything else away. 1 minute, Wilson. We haven't finished the list yet. So, Patricia, what do you think then?
Like the others, I didn't really get the question, but my thing is, if we didn't have a choice, we'd be totally being a slave, and I think choices is the only thing that we really have. That it'd be nothing, wouldn't we? That's the only thing that keeps us going, I think, that we can make our own choices, and in that respect, you know, but it's a personal thing. What might suit one person wouldn't suit the other person, so I think that covers it.
Oh. So the only one we haven't heard from really is Series.
Well, if you ask me, there are just several layers of choice, and the first one are actually the illusions of choice. You get to choose a politician or something, but the game is correct. The real the actual choice we have are actually within ourselves, and the way I discovered it through the you have this astrological side of it, but also the Mayan calendar as one. In a way, it's kind of getting to know who you are and what you're coming to do here, and in that way, that is the higher choice in what you have to come, what you're coming to do here, to do it here. It's a particular personal choice of what you're coming to do here.
I think what it is we are kind of slaves, and we are slaves to debt, but in a sense we are free. And if we remembered we were free and that we were strong enough, because we need to, they don't, Series often repeats that, if we realised how strong we were, then they wouldn't be there.
Yeah, Seal.
Can I add something, Karen?
Seal efforts they take to make us, to convince us about their powers, and actually just don't have it. The proof is that they're convincing us that they have it. What says me that we actually have it, and that we are the ones giving it away all the time because we believe them.
Yeah, like when you get really upset with someone, you're giving it away, aren't you? Because you're giving your anger away. Whether maybe you shouldn't be angry or try and harness your anger, but sometimes you can't help it. That's the way it is. But you're losing yourself by getting angry. But sorry, Gary, you wanted to say?
Yeah, if you don't mind, basically, because obviously I've picked up a little bit more on the thread now, I don't think we know if we're in control of our destiny or not, really. Because if you think about the Truman Show, I don't know if you've seen the film, but I'm sure most people here have, he had no idea. And, are we in a construct that is something that we think that we have choice every day, but in reality we have no choice? Money and power. And the only thing I don't understand is this thing about the rumour about how 90% of the world's population, that if we're glorified slaves, then surely, unless we're a resource that's costing more than the actual product that we're producing, quite understand that. I don't know. I just think that all the while we're sheep and slaves and doing their bidding, then they're making more money from us being around than they would make if we're not around, because they're just after power and greed and
It's hard to know, isn't it? Because they've told the whole world there's a shortage of oil, which puts the oil prices up and the petrol prices up and all that. When really there's an abundance of oil. Some of it's not in the best place to get it, but there's masses of oil. Do you see what I mean? So you can't tell whether, they're going to say one thing when something else is the truth, and we buy the first one. Well, we won't, but the rest of the world will.
I got a good answer to the question posed.
Go on then, Wilson. Yeah.
Well, the question was whether or not we have choice, whether or not it's like the Truman Show. Let's not think of in the sense of like there being something above us and there's some little thing with a person who's waving the wand for everybody. In the terms of, did you go to school? When you went to school, did somebody tell you you could be whatever you wanted when you grew up? But did they also tell you that you had to go to school so that you can get a better job? You got out and you got the better job, did they tell you that you need to save for a pension? You save for the pension, you get so far.
Yeah, it's one thing after another.
What happens after that? So did everything
Funeral, Wilson. It's a funeral plan. The next one's a funeral plan. Carry on.
Yes, you get the funeral plan. You have to pay for it. You know something? It costs money to get you here, and it's going to cost money to get you out of here. And the money doesn't even mean anything in the first place. So what would be the difference? There's really not. What would happen if you really broke down the system? You would have to replace the old system with a new system. So therefore, do you really have a choice then afterwards? It's a new ultimatum. If I break down the old system, stick with it. Will people just wander around like, the Jewish people in the desert?
We're so used to being confined and having rules that if they suddenly broke down, I don't think people would know what to do because there'd be no rules. To start,
there'd be rules.
Yeah, you have to start again. Yeah, but they wouldn't be. Well, yeah, okay. I don't think they'd be in place to start.
No, I know exactly. I agree with what you're saying, but we have unwritten ways of doing things, and we have written ways of doing things, and both those things come from the same kind of education that's been happening the same way for many, many, many years. You know something? You can paint a piece of crap with whatever color you like, but underneath it's still a piece of crap. We've been living with the Roman Empire since it started, and no matter how we want to paint it, we're still there. You still have kings in the high houses, and you have the common folk out around. Taxes was how much meat and how much vegetables the town people could give the king, and the king paid his army by keeping them well fed and giving them better quarters, and he kept his power because he had an army. See where I'm going with this?
Anyway, Wilson's got an even better way with it, Wilson, because it's your story about King what's his name with his beautiful clothes that no one could see. Just explain that one again. I know you.
Well, I say that commerce is portrayed in the same way that people don't see things. They see what they want to see. So if I were to tell you that money is an illusion, you would say to me, "Oh well, I got it here in my pocket." You're wrong. But there was that story that I told about the king who had commissioned a tailor. The tailor wasn't very good, and it came to the day where he had to give him this beautiful article of clothing, and he didn't have it. So he convinced the king, it's so beautiful, it's invisible. And he has him there putting the clothes on ever so gently, and the king struts through town. Beautiful new clothes.
That it was only visible for those who were worthy to see it.
There we go. So if everybody is worthy enough, they can see that money is real. Everybody has an unattainable goal. Think about any time minimum wage has gone up in any community, what follows it? Commerce. Being rich and understanding what equity actually is two completely different things. Being rich with money, but anybody who's ever won the lottery, you see half of these people, they will spend that money, it's gone within a year, maybe 2 years, and they're like, how come I'm not still rich? They don't know that money is not what keeps it going in the first place. Understanding how to use correspondence to create equity is how you stay rich.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to do that, you will stay poor And if you don't know how the bigger guys are keeping things going, then you'll always feed them.
You know,
My
don't you?
dad,
They've
when he
made
used to leave the
money.
house-
They've made money the most important thing.
When I was a kid, my father used to go to the club. Before he, an older brother, and I have 3 younger siblings. He'd leave some money home because he didn't want to spend it all. He always left it with me. He knew I wouldn't spend it because he knew I was the only kid in the house that didn't give a shit about money. It was strange, like it was always the same behavior. I thought it was dumb, like it seemed dumb to me, it always seemed dumb to me, I didn't want anything to do with it. With my own, and I got a divorce, so I have to try a little bit harder, and I'm deciding which way I'm going to like get the most commerce and the most correspondence flowing through everybody's hands so that they get the hell off my back. I've been giving this a real lot of thought, and I see, like, the more I research very specific things, the more I see these things are, and why people go crazy over them. If I flashed $1,000 to somebody, all of a sudden they're putty in my hands? How messed up is that? You're willing to sell yourself for a bunch of paper. From a book, you'd be like, fuck off. Yeah, Siri, you know what I'm saying. You're like, yeah. It's whack.
Yeah, I have the same with money. I don't see the value. I really don't see the value, other than it's indeed. Well, Karl Marx actually translated this stalled labor. Is stalled labor in that sense.
Yeah.
That it is just labor what we exchange. So it is our labor what is actually having value.
Yes, goods and services.
The question of where we actually put our value in, and who is the author of that particular project, and what is the actual direction of the project, and that does it serve. And
Well, you see,
so far I can see the most enough. It's mainly led by the beast in that sense.
All right, let's break it down into something small. All right. So let's say I go off and I get a little piece of land out in the middle of nowhere. Right. What do I need to make that a successful place? To build something there. So I need a place for people to go to. Build the place. So what else do I need? Oh, I need a road for people to get there. So I build a road. So my painstaking labor, I got the road built, I got the place built, but how am I going to get people to come there? Well, I need to get word out. So I need to talk to other people. So I start talking to other people. I'm like, I need you to come work for me. And they said, well, what's the value? Well, I'll give you a roof to go over your head and I'll keep you fed. All right, so they're coming over, they're working for me now, they're going back and forth, they're telling other people about the place. The other people are saying, why the hell do I want to go there? So I need an attractor. An attractor. Now I have an attractor, a place to go to, and a road to get there. Now, keep track of what's of value. Abundance. That's where money comes in. You need something to create the trade, so that if they need to go somewhere else and to get something of equal to whatever correspondence is, then they can do that on their own. Before it was like, if I had an orchard and I had apples, I give the dude down the road a bag of apples and he gives me a pot so that I can cook my supper in, and then we just did an equal trade. Now, correspondence in the same sense that trade was done. How do you build something?
I think this is also very individually divided, projected in a sense that actually how I think it was in the beginning. It's way more in a family circle that you actually bring things together. And that it was the labor of the whole family together what is actually making the whole fruit. What was way more than only a single person could do. What is actually
If I
caused.
if I keep going with what I was talking about, later on, I have my roof breaks down, so then I hire somebody on to fix my roof. So I put money out to him. You know, I hire somebody as a maintenance guy, so I have a maintenance guy. And then I want to create growth, so I build more places. And I have my maintenance guy go build another place, and I give him his own place. And then he creates equity, and the equity grows. To see where I'm going with this, I mean, Donald Trump has been doing it for years. Years and years and years and years. Equity has nothing to do with the correspondence of goods and services. It's the goods and services and the need therein of. You can, like, have all the money in the world and squander it. But if you have goods and services that is replenishable, you're rich. That's why the 1%ers are in control, because they control the equity, and the goods and services used to create equity for them, and they use correspondence to keep to keep understanding what that is. So the money is just to keep the monkeys all flinging their shit, while, you know, they're up and back eating all the bananas, right? So we're just keeping shit going, and they're like, well, we can live like kings and do whatever we want, and I never have to worry about my children having to do this or this or this or this. I could just teach them really how the world works, and they can keep it going, and then when I'm dead, my legacy goes on. Donald Trump has people really, really close to him. The guy's smart. His son-in-law is now one of these special people that knows how things are done, so he must have impressed Donald Trump some way. Pay attention to what that man is doing. He's not doing nothing for America.
Trump is the Antichrist.
I wouldn't give him that much credit.
So why don't you live in RV? Why you need to live like our parents tell us to grow up? Why country belong to us? Or the mother earth belong to us? Why we don't live in RV? Why we don't need community? We don't need it. All the country belongs to you. Buy RV, play. You go to instruments. You play with your guitar. You put ahead. You make child, and you have money every day.
Money.
You know, the Eskimos, they ask him, how come you live here? You have everything today. You can get TV, you can get everything. Why you choose to live like this? -50, and everything is difficult. So they said that our freedom. So they choose to live like this, but they are free. So you can be free too. You don't have to live in the house. House is inside us. It's inside us. It's not the four wall. It's like the house. No. If you have a small RV, a generator, and water, and you can grow up your food in the RV, and all the country belong to you.
Especially your ID. Leave that in the house. Don't take no identification with you whatsoever. And see how far in this world you will get. There are invisible bars in every single province and state and country on this saying that you can't pass go and collect $200 unless you have that identification. There's no such thing as free. Free is nothing left to lose. And even then, you still have your freedom to lose. When you're not free anymore and you're sitting in a jail cell wondering, well, what do I do now? You're still stuck with ultimatums. I can maybe do this or I can do that because that's what's allotted to me in this society. Now, I'm not trying to be antagonistic to what it is that you said, and I think it's beautiful. I am not living in a world where there's freedom. I know there's not.
Yeah, I wrote also some parents message. I'm getting echoes.
Yeah, sometimes when you talk just a little bit, it will stop.
I would ask all of you, what did you want to be most? Did you become that thing?
Journalist.
Did you have the freedom to be?
Well, once you have children, you kind of lose that. Like, I don't mean to sound horrible to the children, but when you have children, you lose that freedom anyway because you've got to look after children. So I mean,
you see, that ties into everything that I just said. They say you have to look after your children. If you want to build a little farm in your backyard, if you own your own plot of land, you can very well take care of your own children and teach them how to live without having to do anything that they say. But at the same time, how would you live? It's just our simple understanding of how things work and how things are. And I'm not trying. Like, I am antagonistic, but I'm antagonistic for a reason. Like, I know things and how things are, but we need to stop and take another look, ask the questions, and think. You know, what would I teach my kids? Why, I'd love to teach my daughter, hey, this world can be yours if you wanted it. Because it can. But you just got to know how it all works. But a lot of people are going to get in the way. How you in the way?
I wrote here, it's either to be a slave to the beat or to be a newborn into the spirit of true freedom. If it is the Most High, we have to fear only, then even death doesn't fear a true spirit. One way or the other, we are going through a fire. And then he speaks about the hellish sides of it, but in the spiritual side of it, we go through a fire the same. Ultimate self-confrontation, in where you actually come to that decision of making a voice, actually planting yourself into that freedom. You take that responsibility on you, and in a full aware state, because the unaware just doesn't know that it is completely responsible anyway. No. Wilson fell away.
Oh, did he? Oh, he'll be back in a second. What does everybody else think then?
Can I just say something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I've lived the life I wanted to. Younger, I knew that I either wanted to work with children or have children, and I had children, and I focused my life on those children. And now I think I regret it in one respect, because it was all due to child. I felt like I was unloved and everything, and I wanted to love. So I put that on children. The only thing I regret is that I never focused on myself because I don't know who I am. Are you happy?
Yeah, sounds like you never have taken the time to actually realize that question.
Like,
So
who am I?
the influences you have during your life in that sense.
Yeah.
In that way, I feel myself very lucky for not having children.
I think you are
But,
free
yeah,
when you're
I
about
am-
17, 18 years of age, where
missing-
tomorrow's another day. You don't care about tomorrow, you don't care about yesterday, it's all now. Then that's...
It's all now, yeah.
But as you get older, it's not quite like that.
That's with the children a whole other question, indeed. That's the whole responsibility for somebody else. Your own.
Do you know what?
I'll
If
leave
D
that.
hadn't cut himself off, I'd swear it was D making a noise, but he's on mute, so I know it's not him.
Yeah, it's definitely not me.
Sorry, series, carry on.
Gary, can you mute? Can you mute yourself? So much.
Do I've never muted before. Do I actually just press it and?
Yeah, and when you want to
mic.
ask a question, just again, and it lets you back in. There's just a bit of feed. There's a little bit of noise happening. It might be your earphones touching something.
Yeah. Okay. If I don't move, can you hear anything now?
Yeah, we hear you. But
A little bit. There's something.
Okay, I'll take off the headset and see if it actually improves it.
Well, yeah, best for the Hangout is just to mute while you're not talking. And when you talk,
Okay, I'll see what I can do.
Wilson says, my damn phone is freezing up on me. It's hot as hell. It might be overheating again. I'm really sorry. Damn, I've got a big mouth. He's really clever. Wilson thinks all the time, I think. I'm not saying none of you think. I'm not saying that you don't think, rather, that way. But I think Wilson gets, like, he's got a mind a bit like Ceres. He's just doing something else. He's really intellectual, Wilson. He thinks about things to the end. He thinks about things. He's got some questions.
It is deep as well.
Him earlier on, but we had a bit of a talk before the Hangout. And he says the questions for Santos people might not like, but he's going to want to ask them. So you just think, well, he's really deep. And I think what he's got to the stage now where, you know, when he's trying to explain about the space station and, yes, we're flat. He's got bored of doing that now. He wants to move on somehow because, yes, we're flat. He's getting a bit frustrated with over-explaining about everything to everybody. I mean, Ceres and I are in a different place because we've decided that we've got like this group now, and everything are between a group of people, so we can't be like that. We have to think about loads of other people all the time, and also take the group with us. But yeah. Anybody else want to say anything?
Yeah, I also see how the group actually managed to become that community in a sense, because that's what we need to become, communion, and that we actually is more together because everybody is an eye to actually look and see, and everybody has their own speciality in a certain, and some are very global in a sense, putting everything together. And well, yeah, I figure everybody is there, and so everybody is needed.
I agree that diversity, I think, is going to bring us different kind of relationships and dynamics as well. So I think in diversity we're gonna this time we're gonna gather and we're gonna thrive, you know. And trust nowadays is, I think, one of the gatekeepers, you know, to become more intimate in between us, because there are trust problems. But it's healing, you know. There's time, healing process, and I think we're gonna make it, and we're doing it right now.
Can I just say something? We blamed Gary, but it's not. It's Daniel who's making the noise. We blamed Gary. It's Daniel. Yeah, it's Daniel. It's all right. You can come back. Gary, come back. You don't have to mute. It's okay. It's just one of those things. It's probably just a line thing. Yeah.
Well, I'll just mute if it makes it better, but if it's not me, that's good.
Yeah, sorry about that, Gary. It just thought it was your mic, your earphones. The earphones often do it. For some reason, they just touch something on the phone, and all you can hear is them touching on the phone. Sorry about that. But this thing is everything is really deep, isn't it? All of it. Wilson's a very deep person. Ceres is a very deep person. People, you don't realise, you lot, me and Ceres have hangouts all the time. There's masses to talk about and things. And even how you explain things. There's masses, it's so deep. Explanation, that is. But to actually, I suppose, live life, it should be done click, spur of the moment, click, done. Because we're humans who've been made to live in the now, aren't we? Judith, what are you doing? What's Judith doing? She's doing some yoga or something now, aren't you, Judith? She's not gone to sleep, has she?
I'm playing with my magnet.
Oh, right. You just were stuck there.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's a small ball. It's a small ball, but it's magnet. You can do what you want with this. And it's very therapy. Very therapy. Yeah.
Look at that, Judith. You're supposed to buy one of those for school, and you're buying one now. All these things that you hated. Yeah. All these things you hated at school or didn't want to know about, and now you want to know it all.
I tell you, Karen, I didn't build in the school. That's why I'm clever, because I didn't build the school. They didn't destroy me. So...
You always thought for yourself in that sense.
So, in yoga, I teach everything is our mind. Everything is in our mind. So there is always a solution. Always there is a solution.
I sort of know what you mean. Like, reality is in your head.
There's never a problem. It's always a challenge finding the solution.
That's right.
Reality is in your head. It's not outside your head. It's inside your head.
Yeah, you always create. What can I do more? What can I do more to make today my life party, big party? This is what I am thinking. What can I do more? Okay, yoga it's not so good now because it's too cold. So maybe I can do something else. Maybe I can do this. Maybe always I do something. Always I have a solution. Every day I have a solution to do something that I want. You know, in Matrix, there is one line that Socrates said, know who you are. Know who you are. This is the most important thing that we have to tell ourselves.
Well, actually, I've got a few words for you then, guys. I'll just get my little book out. I have lots of little bookies up here. Where is it? Where is it? Can't see it right now. Oh, there it is. This is about your sort of spiritual, to be a spiritual master. So it starts off by saying things like, once you've mastered this day's lesson, you'll have everything you need. What the hell's that?
I choose what I want to put in my mind.
Okay.
Angry or love, hate or
This is the lesson. You did. You did. Know yourself, see yourself, accept yourself, and be yourself. Those are the lessons to your spiritual, to be a spiritual master. Know yourself, see yourself, accept yourself, and be yourself. If you can master those, you're your own spiritual master. And people don't realise that.
Karen, you choose which information you want to put in your head. You choose what food you want to put in your body. You choose what it's in our hands. 19% it's in our hands, okay? 10% it's matrix, yeah. In the airport, yeah, I know this. But most of the day it's in our hand how we choose to wake up, to eat, to do everything. What do you think, Series?
Yeah, Patricia is going.
Yeah, Patricia, I've just sent her a message. Patricia's not feeling very well. I think she's going to go. Patricia, are you there? I think she's gone.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm going to have to go.
Alright, love you. Big hugs.
Thanks, later, big hugs.
Yeah, we haven't done our group hug. Whoever's left on the Hangout when we go there's a group hug. I've got my camera off, haven't I? Big hugs, Patricia.
Yeah, she's already gone. But I actually completely missed what the question was.
You did.
So I said, what do you think about we choose what we want to think, what we want to eat, what in our mind, everything. We most it's our hand. Most of 19% it's in the part of us.
I think when you say it isn't, you don't take responsibility for yourself.
In a way, it's also knowing what you need. Mostly, you will have always a kind of preference in what
Daniel, what do you reckon then?
So yeah, pure intuitively for what foods you choose. And it seems I like kinds of foods what are actually healthy for me. In that sense.
Yeah, Series needs that for all the strength to make our map.
It's like these 12 pillars of salt. Bonacci talks about in ways 3 the problem regions within your chart, and those are the foods when you have to focus on what you actually get extra, because all the others are already within your body available. You need to add the missing ones. In where you have to look on what food you eat. And I'm still trying to get this into a table and that we can actually connect foods to the salts we need in this alkaline diet. We need acidic one. They shove us 2/3 in the supermarkets and such. It's hard to see what is actual food and what is just taste.
Well, I had an experience 2008. I went to study raw food, live food instructor in the Tree of Life Rejuvenation Center in Arizona, led by Dr. Gabriel Coffin. And I did the course, and well, they taught us everything about the toxic world, you know, and how important it is individualizing your diet, you know, that there's no diet. You have to start your own like endeavor, you know, start asking questions, connecting with yourself, and it's not easy, and there are not shortcuts, you know. You need to get the pace, just that, you know, rhythm. You're soon gonna get it. And my later experience was with this guy. I thought the last time, Victor, that he is a vegetarian, and what he taught me is that food, we have 4,000 years to understand that food is a pattern, you know. In which way is a pattern is in the way you think you need to be nourished when you're already nourished by everything. So it's kind of ridiculous, you know, but you need to do this process to let every little cell of yourself, every little chakra, every little nadi understand and open to this new frequency, you know, to this new frequency of vibration of yourself. So there's a lot of time and different paths. There's not only one path, you know. It's not just food, you know. It's not just yoga. It's not just spirituality. There's infinite. I think everyone is a special path, and that's the amazing thing about this voyage. We're gonna encounter that special crystal we are, and it's gonna leave everything so clear. There's gonna be no doubt of who we are and why we're here. So yeah, that's my take about nutrition, you know, about food. There's so much light because of course it's a pattern, you know, it's a pattern. It's beyond the matter. If you try to understand it through the matter, you're gonna just jump with a wall of scientists and nutritionists saying to you that the cell fits, you know, through stomach.
In a way, you get it through fasting, through the hunger.
Yes.
That's when.
But it's actually not fasting at all. You're not fasting at all. You're ceasing to feel the need to be nourished. Because fasting is the contrary. I know fasting. Fasting is when you stop something inside a pattern, a cycle, and you do it for different purpose. Seeking knowledge, seeking spirituality, cleansing your body, etc. It's very useful. It's like vomiting. It should be part of your language, of your body, you know? It's very normal. But this is different because this is going beyond the understanding that you even need, you know, something to thrive, to be alive. And that state is real. I felt it in the 7th day without having water. I felt so subtle, so aware. And I felt an energy that had nothing to do with food, not with water either, you know. I was completely dry, and I couldn't sleep. Days were eternal, you know. 24 hours without eating is like 5 days, you know. Your senses are so intense, so aware of every detail that the experience changes immediately there. And so everybody's 7 days, you know, I see it like this. Everybody's 7 days towards the most connected state you can ever achieve, but just not doing anything. And that's amazing. That's powerful because it's not intrinsic. It's not complicated. Just stop doing everything. Try not to do something. Try to get peace in your mind and not do something. And the things are gonna start arriving, you know, and that's for me the sense of the magical part of knowledge. we all talk from the sense of matter through knowledge. And we can talk hours, days, millions of years about knowledge and this, and discuss this and this and this. But all the knowledge is being sold to us. But where did it came from in the first place? You know? We are buying knowledge back, but everybody has the access, everybody has the key to access knowledge. So knowledge is not something we are gonna acquire through evolution. That's the lie. Knowledge has always been there, and it's always been there. You know, you just access it, and that's the secret, accessing the knowledge. And they give you always mixed lies, mixed with truth. That's the recipe. That's the recipe that works. You know, you never put a lie alone. You always accompany it with truth.
Because it's everywhere. The lie is the only thing you need to remember, because you need to keep it up.
Exactly. That's why they put it in a cassette and brainwash it. And that's why they need it every day, you know. The first thing that starts are television programs. You know, the first thing. The television starts the day. It put the pace, you know. The program is starting, you know. The matrix is being created today. That's why I said earlier, let's think about the idea that the world is not created, that is being manifested right now. And we are being part of that. So we're changing it right now. You know, we're affecting it. So it's not that we live in a material place that's already constructed and we have to unveil it. No. We are consciousness playing inside consciousness. So we are in an inner trip. So we are already home. We are already you know, in that place, in that nirvana, in that whatever you want to call it, Babaji state. Everybody's there. Everybody's already there. You know, the illusion is the matrix. The illusion is thinking we're not, and that's the play. That's where consciousness decides to forget, and that's beautiful. That's humble from us, you know, understanding that we came first to this challenge as ourselves in the matter of what? In the matter that we're not victims of an elite. We are just challenging ourselves once and again in a different levels. So instead of thinking these other guys are doing all this, it's we have the power to do this. You know, we are doing this. We are putting ourselves to the challenge in all ways. So, and I think we're thriving. Having this kind of conversation is already making bridge. We talked this last time, you know, we are making bridge right now. So we're connecting consciousness right now, and we are accessing knowledge right now. We just have to make the correct answers, and then the correct questions, and the answers are gonna be there. Trust me, I know this. I've talked and I've seen knowledge come from myself that I never ever heard before. So many times, coming through me. So, and I never took a book, you know, like, and this knowledge is coming, it's coming. And so, again, it's a way of accessing, it's a way of connecting, you know, and that's why it's important knowing yourself, because you are the key. So you have to know in which door you want to put your own key, and not be stumbling and being part of a chaos where no keys and no doors are even there. You know, the rich game, you know, the people playing in a loop. Maybe that piece of consciousness never goes from there. You know, it's always repeating itself in that constant loop, because it's a loop of consciousness, not of time. You know, time doesn't even matter here. We're beyond time from the beginning.
Yeah, nicely said.
The
letter.
It was.
I looked
important in this discussion.
Still the Suns game.
No, it's true.
Who's talking?
My visitor.
Hi, Michelle. Nice to meet you.
Hi.
Bye.
He believes the Mandela.
I saw the Mandela effect, and I played with my friends. I did several questions with a lot of different friends, and actually I came to my own little experiment where I saw that there were different answers. So the theory in that way, it's plausible. The thing is trusting or not those memories and understanding how memories are built in the first way, you know. Have you ever had a lucid dream?
Yes, many.
Okay, so you recognize there that it's your mind that is co-creating what you're experiencing. Isn't that a fact?
Cool. But I've dreamt about the future. So and then the next day it all came out exactly how I dreamt it.
I didn't get that. Sorry.
Serious? I can volume one.
You know.
Okay. So then I dreamt the day that was coming.
He dreamt the next day, the night before.
Yeah.
Okay. We were talking about the Mandela effect. Yes. I don't know. I don't know how to approach this because it's. Of course, everything is thought-based, you know. So the ripples and effects of the consciousness are infinite. It's even hilarious. We put it a test in such like weak matter, you know. It's stronger than that. It's stronger than that in the way that it can change everything, like in a dream. You know, your consciousness. You have to understand consciousness doesn't start from any point, so it doesn't have a inner code of limits. You know, limits are only understood in this state where we believe matter is real. You know, and only here in this state we can believe matter is real, and play with these things. You know, so of course I think it's real in the sense. When we start waking up as a collective, first as an individual, then as a collective, we start vibrating and we have start removing things that are parasites, things that are low frequency, that cannot be alive when we're vibrating high, you know. So I think we start seeing the actual grid, the actual ripples of this veil, because it is a thought-based matrix. So we're starting to see it. Actually, it's not even question of a movie or something of your imagination. You can see it in so many ways, like in the value shifting, in every thematic you can pick from today. You can see exactly the controversy of reason, you know, where reason is trying to be reasonable, but at the same time it's the most violent, unreasonable thing ever done. So it's lunatic, and of course this dialectic and this duality of vibration. But again, we are doing that. We are putting ourselves to that level. So I always say is the important thing is what we are going to do in this relationship. That's everything. It's like, how are you going to react to this level? Are you gonna? I don't know. There are many ways, you know, and there. How do
television
we know exactly what is the agenda of our superconsciousness, of our soul, in the sense that if you need to experience something, your soul is gonna go for it, you know, and maybe your mind is not gonna understand that. You know, you're gonna say, why the hell this happened? But maybe it was you all the time. You know, you need that lesson. You need it, and you just inscribe for it, you know, like any student in any school. You know, I want that course. Okay, I'm done. I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be painful, but here we go.
Could I just say, for the actual group itself, we've been going for 3 hours and 10 minutes on this hangout. Just for the group, can we say goodbye to the group? And if you want to carry on talking, but finish talking, but not on record, is everybody agreed?
Agreed upon.
Okay, but you've got to come back for the group hug. You have to have a group hug now. D, where are you? He's probably fallen asleep. You haven't fallen asleep, have you, D? No, he's there. This is for the people on the hangout and for everybody who's gone and for our group. Group hugs! We all need hugs. Make the world a better place. Woohoo! Thanks very much. Thank you.